Hello, this is Joe Widdows and this is my assignment on anxiety, stress and arousal. First of all, arousal is described as the degree of emotion and intensity exerted when carrying out a behaviour or action. There are two different elements to arousal, the first one being somatic arousal. This is the state changes within your body when your body prepares for fight or flight or exercise. Cognitive arousal is the second part, and this is the changes in negative thought, like the night before a football game you're thinking of negative outcomes that may happen, and this could lead to blind panic. Arousal and how it may impact on sporting performance. A positive is somatic arousal, being the fight or flight component, where this basically prepares your body for the needs of sport, increased blood pressure and heart rate and breathing rate. A negative of somatic arousal, however, is too much of this can affect focus, as your body prepares for nothing more than fight or flight, so staying focused is difficult and can affect the performer. Cognitive arousal, a positive of this can be it helps to identify obstacles you may come up against, thinking about what may happen. However, a negative of this can distract you from your actual goal, resulting in overthinking or over-arousal and therefore underperforming. Drive theory. Drive theory suggests that over-arousal does not lead to underperforming. In fact, it suggests they are directly proportional. As arousal levels increase, so does performance. An example of this could be feeling super aroused before a football game. Your blood pressure is high and so is your heart rate and breathing rate. This prepares you for fight or flight as you run around the pitch with extreme energy due to high adrenaline levels, resulting in 3 goals for your team. What this theory fails to explain, however, is why people still underperform in times of extreme arousal. A good example of this could be John Terry when he fluffed the penalty kick, as his arousal levels got the better of him, as he was so pumped and ready to win the Champions League that focus on technique was lost, resulting in him slipping on the kick. Drive theory, however, would suggest that due to high arousal he would score this goal. Inverted U theory. Inverted U theory is a graph that suggests there is an optimum arousal level in individuals, and that there is such a thing as being over or under aroused. Being under aroused, performer may appear to be daydreaming. For example, in a football game, a player may miss the opportunity to be passed to, which could have led to a goal, but the player was not on the ball and was daydreaming and missed this opportunity. Optimum arousal, however, is extremely high levels of concentration and is described as in the zone, as attention fields adjust to the most ideal width to the performer so that certain information is obtained while others is blocked out. For example, when you go up for a header in football, everything except you and the ball is irrelevant. You are totally in the zone and you win the ball because of this. Over-arousal may bring about a state of increased anxiety which can cause exhaustion. For example, you tear up and down the pitch with loads of energy and intention of winning the ball. However, you tire yourself out and end up underperforming. However, this theory fails to explain how performers can become over-aroused, however reach a turnaround point where performance is maintained. For example, Son, a professional swimmer, who started off his race with a false start, as the crowd had created a noise he believed to be the starting signal. This may have been because of high arousal levels that he was too eager to enter the pool. However, when the race actually started, he made a turnaround in controlling arousal and ended up smashing the world record time. So this is obviously a criticism of the inverted U theory, as it fails to explain why some performers can maintain arousal levels even when they become too high. Catastrophe theory. Catastrophe theory suggests there is an arousal increasing event in sport which can affect performance. How you let the event affect you will affect performance. For example, being nutmegged in a game of football can increase arousal levels as you are embarrassed and therefore then try your hardest to win the ball back off the individual. However, your attention field is very narrow at this point as you are now transfixed on redeeming yourself. However, this could actually lead to more mistakes being made as you are not focusing on the aims of the game but more on the individual themselves. However, this theory does actually offer a suggestion towards recovery of arousal, as you can see here. For example, Mo Farah in the 10,000 meters at Rio Olympics, he actually fell over in the middle of his race, but was able to recover and ended up winning the actual race, which supports catastrophe theory, where it suggests arousal levels can be recovered. Anxiety. This is a negative experience of stress and usually derives from fear of failing. And there are two types. Cognitive anxiety is associated with worry and is the thought component of anxiety. It may occur the night before a cup final for football, where you envision the worst case scenario because of cognitive anxiety. For example, this could be scoring an own goal and the image keeps repeating round and round in your head the night before a game. Somatic anxiety is another component and is the physical anxiety side, where your body prepares for fight or flight, so heart rate, breathing rate and blood pressure all increase and may come about directly before participating in exercise as your body is preparing you for fight or flight, or in this case preparing your body for efficient exercise, as increased blood pressure can deliver extra oxygen to muscles faster, preparing you for the exercise. Types of anxiety. Trait anxiety is a type of anxiety. It is a stable behaviour in which it occurs in the majority of environments where there may be a perceived threat. It is our primitive instinct to survive. So trait anxiety would have enabled our ancestors to survive due to survival of the fittest in identifying threats in most environments. This would have been passed on in genes, and it is suggested to be passed on by genes. It consists of experiences and reports of negative emotions such as fears, worries, and anxiety across many situations. For example, a classroom making you feel anxious as you hate public speaking, and speaking in front of the class makes you feel anxious. This can be related to sport, in which a sports hall or football pitch may make someone with trait anxiety feel anxious. State anxiety is someone's immediate condition of anxiety in any one situation, a temporary emotional response to something that is perceived as threatening. In sport, state anxiety may rise when an athlete is expected to perform well in a high-pressure situation such as a cup final, and would occur moments before the game. Someone with high trait anxiety will most likely also experience high state anxiety, as most environments cause anxiety in the individual, resulting in a rise in blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing rate. This could cause panic in an individual, as these factors also apply to arousal. This suggests that in most cases an individual with high trait and state anxiety will underperform or result in a catastrophe. A good example of this is the John Terry situation again. However, low trait anxiety paired with high state anxiety may result in a better performance, as your body has prepared you for fight or flight, or in sports prepared for high blood pressure. However, A low trait anxiety paired with high state anxiety may result in a better performance, as your body has prepared you for fight or flight, or for sport. It does this as high blood pressure leads to high blood flow and increased delivery of oxygen to muscles. This could be suggested to lead to a good performance, as you can keep a level head, low trait anxiety, but your body is pumped and ready for action, state anxiety. A good example of this is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a football player who can maintain a clear head, but is always ready to go and performs well in every game.